And Earth Spirit, they also took Earth Spirit with 3 seconds on reserve time, so they really, really were thinking about this next pickup, and probably what's next on the draft.
Yeah, it's also possible. Like I know this happens a lot. Maybe there's like a tier 2 crappy Dota thing, but I've had a lot of captains that are just like they have their finger on something, right? And then they're like, all right, if we can't think of anything else, we'll go with this one. And then it gets to like 3 seconds left, and you just kind of pick the thing that you have your finger on. So maybe Earth Spear wasn't like the absolute best pick for them, but they just kind of went with it because they need time to think about their other picks. That's also possible. So let's see. This pick I think is going to be pretty revealing because this is going to be like a mid or a carry, or a position 5. If it's like a position 5, then we know it's like a tree and off lane.
Yeah.
Which I have a feeling it is, just because this is something that Brax has been spamming in his pubs, and I feel like he wants to bring this into competitive.
Ooh. And they go Pangolier, which we've seen in a multitude of positions here, from mid to off lane to 4. It comes in this situation where I think that they could still go like Rubik 5, Pango 4, Treant 3.
Yeah, definitely. Not 100% sure anymore. Just because I feel like Brax is a really good Pango player. He really likes to play Pango. But Snake King, as somebody who played offlane for such a long time, like he plays all of the offlaners in a position 4 faculty. So it's Bat Rider, really good back game, very good back game. So this means that business needs to pick some sort of counter. I'm really feeling the Naga. I feel like the Naga is so strong against all of these Quincy crew heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the heroes to defend for it and go late game. Like Naga or PL's another one, but I feel like Naga's a better answer to the Lycan Enchantress because PL doesn't have a net. You net the Lycan with Naga and it's very easy kill, but Lycan can at least get away from the PL. But he can't kill the PL. Unless he gets like a Battle Fury or something.
They banned the Bat Rider. All right, they picked the Bat Rider, excuse me, and it's a game where, we've seen a lot of earlier Bat picks, I think, coming in here where you already have what looks to be a 4 and a 5 and potentially a 3. That kind of, unless they're going to do something like safe lane Abaddon here for Moo, you've kind of countered out, like, your Oracles, your Legions, your...
Man, I feel like they need like a win hero. You know what I mean?
They even ban the Abaddon.
I really feel like the Abaddon would be good as a counter to the Bat, but it doesn't do anything to Lycan. It doesn't counter the Enchantress at all. Like, I really feel like an illusion hero would completely dumpster what Quincy Crew has right now. In fact, I would say that Quincy Crew needs to pick something to deal with illusions, because otherwise they're just opening themselves up to some illusion guy just being unkillable.
5 seconds.
They don't have a lot of time to play with.
Slark also wouldn't be bad. Very good against the Bat. Good against Lycan too.
They go Invoker.
Now I'm thinking if you pick PL, you can run the PL mid, and just dump on the Invoker, because that's one of the classic counters. Like Invoker cannot deal with the PL. He can just doppelganger out of all of Invoker spells, and also PL has so much armor. Invoker cannot right click him down. So I'm really feeling like the PL, Naga, Slark.
Would the Viper do okay against the Invoker? Like, do you have
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I imagine like the Lena ban is because I want to do Viper mid, right? Like that's the classic Viper hero that you play mid against him, not because it beats Viper, but because you're just so far away from him that Viper can't just destroy Lena like he'll destroy other heroes.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Talked about illusions potentially being a problem. Well, now you've got spiders that are going to be a problem.
Wow. I was not expecting this. So they're going to do Envy in a side lane, potentially against Bat, or maybe you could even run him against the Lycan, and I think it would be fine. I mean, this is a great Brood pick. There isn't anything on Quincy that can deal with the Brood. There's nothing. They don't have AoE clear. I mean, it's the same problem with illusions, right? It's the exact same problem. But I just wasn't expecting this. However, I have seen Moo. I had this conversation with him the other day, actually. He was He picked Brood in a pub against me, and I was like, dude, Moo, you've always just picked anything and you just play, right? He's always been so impressive to me because he plays until 6 a.m., which is just madness. He picks anything. He carries noobs. He doesn't try to counter pick or do some sort of cancer pick, but that he started picking Brood in pubs, and he said it's 1v9 in NA, so I have to pick 1v9 heroes. So he's actually picking it in competitive now. That's hilarious. Shocking.
Jeez. How often is Brood even picked competitively?
Not super often. It's always these last picks. Or if you're Zoomers, you're picking Monkey's offlane Brood, and then everybody flames him and thinks it's awful, and then he owns you. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm very curious to see how Quincy deals with the Broodmother. They actually have Quinn going Earth Spirit. That's their answer, is Earth Spirit versus Broodmother. Wowee. That is going to be interesting. I have never seen that matchup before, but I imagine Brood probably dumpsters that.
One of my favorites.
Don't be mad.
It's gonna go.
That is MSS Invoker.
Gonna go into this one. Not a best of 2 this time, which I'm really excited about because of the fact that we've seen a bunch of 1-1 splits for the higher, higher seeded teams.
We have. I want to see a full best of 3, man. That's where the real Dota happens, in those game 3s, man. That's the good stuff right there.
I don't know why my edge pan, my settings never save. Very odd. Every time I restart Dota.
I use a trackpad to edge pan. a car wheel.
A manual shifter.
Yeah, exactly. So SVG, he's going to put a ward down on the high ground. Looks like this is pretty typical when you're playing this Brood mid, is that you always want to get vision of him, see where he's farming in the jungle. Man, my eyes are going to be on the mid lane the whole time. I really want to see how this matchup goes. Earth Spirit versus Broodmother. Tell me, has anybody in chat ever seen this matchup before? I don't think any of us have seen this. This is... But it's Quinn, you know? So, like, I have to trust him. This guy's like 10k MMR. He knows what he's doing.
I've seen Somnus play the mid
Earth Spirit, right?
Yeah.
But against Brood though, like it's I have no idea if this works.
The battle begins.
He ended up he had 2 games where he played in. I think I've said this to you before, but one game he went like Crystallis and took the extra damage. I think it was back when it was 60 damage, not 50 damage. And then the other time he took Blade Mail first.
Yeah, Blade Mail seems really good. This hero just runs into fights face first, so.
It'll be very interesting to see, especially now with Moo, yeah, mid on the Brood.
Dude, Quinn is punching him right in the face.
59 damage, you know, not too shabby. No, it's not the Treant 91, but DPS I think is still higher for Earth Spirit. Why is that happening?
Maybe. Why is what happening?
My game is like panning up and down by itself.
You're getting hacked.
I'm getting hacked. This is the end of it. This is the end of it.
Has been killed.
I say, look out.
We're gonna ruin his Dota casting. Don't you guys have more resources for that? Oof. First blood coming in. Fear gets the kill there on SVG.
Man, that Nature's Grasp damage at level 1 with the tree oof. Like it really feels like if you get caught in that at the wrong angle, you just melt. It's like being in a blender.
And it's usually, we'll see, I'm actually shocked he took Leech Seed. Usually you'll see like Treants go Living Armor and Nature's Grasp and completely ignore the Leech Seed.
I think this makes sense. I mean, this is like what NA players do a lot on trees. They go like a point of Leech Seed just for kill threat like this. You know, just UR's just trading.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right move. He doesn't have Swashbuckle, but won't end up getting the kill. However, Fear, one more impetus shot, if he could just find him, would get the damage to kill off this Treant. God, impetus early is so destructive.
It is. It's expensive, but man, if you're getting those long range ones, it's rough. The nice thing about Tree is the ability to kill these wolves. Oh my god, look at Lelis behind the tower up here.
Oh my god.
More shenanigans. This is all you ever see with Batrider. This is 100% Monkeys Forever's fault.
And he's successful with it. It does force you to bring, you know, more than sneaking over to really help with this.
It does. I mean, when you do this with two heroes, it's so difficult to deal with. And that's the thing is like, what is
they
a
might have
Viper?
SVG. Yeah, they do. With that damage from Fear, 97 damage already. An easy kill there as they had the Swashbuckle and the Nature's Grasp. It's so much damage. It's a solid combination if Lucky Shot does proc as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're just 100% slow basically.
Yawar also almost dead, but Brax looks like he's gonna fall. SVG on the run. Impetus. Another shot coming through. Another kill there for Quincy, or the first kill for Quincy Crew. But Yawar still staying in the lane, relatively close. I figure throws down like a Nature's Grasp, and that could have been troublesome.
He knows though. He knows he's got to just stay here and keep farming. Like, so, you know, oftentimes you'd honestly rather die and then just come back to lane with more resources than you would walk back to base on a slow hero like Lycan. Used to be fast when they buffed them.
Ooh, MSS comes bottom, misses the Tornado, and they'll get the Cold Snap out here on the Brax, so that should lead to yet another kill. If you're trying to trade and at least get SVG, but his attack speed isn't amazing, and going after SVG in the Nature's Grasp afterwards is enough, but they still get 2 down here for Quincy Crew.
I mean, worst of all is that Brax TP'd in, so he's got 36 seconds, he has no TP. He just has to slowly swashbuckle his way to lane. This is going to be rough for him. Really rough. And Moo's got to deward this hill. He's got to know. Once Quinn starts messing with him over here. Man, Envy is contesting the stacks and trying to at least.
I don't exactly think Lelis is having the best time right now. He's only 24 now.
Yeah, you know, but it is against a Viper. I don't think this is a particularly easy lane for a Batrider. But Viper is slow. So they're actually giving Snaking the lane, and now Envy is jungling. So a little bit of an efficiency play here, just knowing that this Viper, even with level 1 Nether Toxin, you jungle so quickly.
Who coming over, getting that stack. Could switch it over to net worth. They've got quite a bit of farm going on right now. Viper sitting towards the top. Brood actually not as high up as I thought.
Yeah, Quinn looks like he's doing just fine mid. Let's see, how much damage do you do between Boulder Smash, Rolling Boulder? It's what, 100 and about 300. How much do spiders have? 280. So he can, but they have 40% magic resist. Like, he can't kill the spiders.
Radiant structures are
I feel like Moo could be pressuring him harder here, but Moo is a carry player, so he likes to hit jungle.
And maybe not looking to fight as early as he takes out a couple of spiders. Rolling Boulder comes in. MSS, he'll make the rotation too. Moo here with the Magnetize, Cold Snap, everything on him. Now the tornado finally long enough to hit a target, but the rolling boulder misses. Moo, magnetize. That'll wear off, and he gets up the stairs and out of harm's way. Brax makes the rotation, which opens up bottom a bit more.
Now Yawar's got his Necro, and this Lycan ulti with Necro. It's not that much net worth, but it feels like... It really feels like it is when you're playing up against this. Lycan is such a strong hero, honestly. Once you get the Zoo, he's so annoying.
He already has that Necro 1, going straight Necro 3. Looks like he's skipping the boots, which is not the biggest shock. We see a lot of Lycans do this. Fear getting harassed, though, by SVG. One more impetus shot. Won't be enough just yet, but he does have this Satyr, and that'll help get the kill.
Old man reflexes. He could have walked. He could have walked away. Wow, I think he just wasn't expecting the Satyr to be in there. Still trying to scout him. He was looking elsewhere on the map. I wish I could have seen his player perspective, but it looked like he wasn't looking bot anymore. It's like, oh, I'm fine.
Shapeshift coming out, and they're going to go after this Brood. They've got the lasso, they have the control, but can they finish him off? Tornado comes in, Moo is sitting low, and finally they'll burn him away. Spiderlings on the run, and the focus becomes, can we kill these Spiderlings as we do lose Quinn?
1 for 1, not that bad. I mean, damage
Could be
on
1 for 2. SVG on the run, Nature's Grasp misses. No heal in the Nature's Attendants, just on the run. Has 3 in the enchant and 2 in the impetus. Gets around the trees. No way. Oh, the courier's actually going to come over and spot him.
Oh, the courier.
Oh.
Oh, man. You know, the funny thing is the courier dying gives more gold to the Radiant than SVG does dying to the Dire. That's how much couriers are worth these days.
Too much considering how often they're dying.
Oh yeah, almost as if like kills are not worth enough. But hey, we'll see what Valve does with the 7.27.
Queen getting yet another kill here. I'm wondering what he's gonna do. Is he gonna go Blade Mail? Are we gonna see that Crystallis? Is it gonna be a completely different build from Earth Spirit?
I do think Quinn is a Crystallis lover. He's one of the guys that will still build that on Void Spirit mid, even though basically nobody else does. So I'm kind of leaning towards that just because it's Quinn, but we'll see. Wow, 2 for the Dire. And they got both outposts.
Significant in slowing down the Radiant with the pressure that's been coming in.
Dire's middle tower is under
definitely. A lot of XP at this point.
Quinn just trying to go after these spiders, but has the mobility, has the ease of getting away.
I mean, all he's killing is the Spiderites, and they're pretty worthless. Like, they're really just HP and a tiny bit of damage. They do 9 damage each. It's really not that much. It's all about those Spiderlings.
There is nothing that can stop this man.
Fear sitting third in the net worth. Actually, Enchantress and the Invoker. We're towards the bottom. They find Brax. They've got the Cold Snap. They have Shapeshift used by Yawar. And with Necro 2 and some Wolves going his way, turns into a pretty easy kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, Lelis is really making things happen in this game. And killing the Broodmother is absolutely huge. And then Brax, like, he's trying to catch up, so hurting his recovery is going to help a lot. He's really the main fighter for us business associates right now. He needs to get some levels.
The thing is, Lelis didn't even have the most amazing of starts, and now he's over here just like making things happen. He's enabling his team. He hit that 6. It wasn't about his net worth as much as it is getting those levels, and now he has the ability to really put it on. And Yeah, they're using Shapeshift in conjunction with the lasso, but it's not the only combo that they have, that's for sure.
I mean, Quinn's not even been super active in these side lanes. He's just been dealing with the Brood, and yet we're still seeing Quincy be so active just with the bat. I mean, that's the thing about this bat hero is he doesn't need anything to be active. Like, all of the items that he buys, like, think about it, like Force Staff, Link Dagger, Travels, like, these are like 2,000 gold items. They're not like 5,000 gold items. So he really doesn't need that much to be super active, which makes the hero a pretty functional offlaner.
Sneaking on this Rubik. He's in level 7. He's actually stolen Summon Wolves. So a little bit of the zoo meta going on by proxy here for business associates.
A lot of jungling. They're doing a lot of jungling on their side. I kind of feel like business needs to open up the map soon. Because whenever you're jungling and then they're jungling, but they have your safe lane tier 1, it means that they're probably taking more camps than you are. We'll see the gold rise, the gold lead rise for Quincy, like, as long as this progresses. I say that and it goes down, for God's sakes.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Caster curse, man.
Moo, meanwhile, going Ags first. Viper makes the rotation. Yawar is here. That attack range is pretty rough to deal with, but they've got the Magnetize in. Eternal Envy in some trouble. And, well, he's locked down with the lasso, so they'll pull him back. They'll kill him off. They'll get themselves one. And Rolling Boulder towards the back end of this fight. You need to be a little bit careful how far they're willing to go in under the tier 1 tower and overgrowth available.
Roll comes in the river. This is a good place to fight for Pango.
Oh! SVG. Destroyed.
They're just armoring up this mid tower. So annoying, Fear. He's got maxed out living armor now. It's so hard to kill.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
Well, that opens up the map. That's exactly what business needed. They draw bot. They say, okay, this tower comes next. Some flowchart Dota right there.
Is Invoker going Spirit Vessel? He's got the urn.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I would assume so. And Earth Spirit going Radiance. Wow. Okay. You can see the cold snap and the impetus, what that's able to do to Fear. But now the Viper Strike is out on a Quinn. He rolled into this, and it's not going to be an easy situation to get out of.
Man.
He'll try, though, and under the tower with the Rolling Boulder, eventually he's just in too far.
Damn it! If he had used the Remnant there on the first roll that he did, he would have been out. But I don't think he was expecting MSS to hit such a beautiful tornado. I mean, I know I wasn't.
Cold snap, sneaking. In some trouble once again, but, well, it doesn't look like he'll get out of this one. The rest of the team is rotating over. He's buying some time maybe for a counterplay, but I think at this point it might be a little bit too late. Brax might just go in because he has the ability to move around the map so well. But Yawar is here, so he needs to be very careful.
But I'm really confused. So I think Snaking stole wolves, used wolves, then stole enchant and enchanted a ghost creep. So he actually just had his own little army there. Man, Moo's got his full Ags now, so he can start being more active in these side lanes, which means he can probably get this bot tower with all the fighting that's going on.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So 2K now we're with lead here for Quincy Crew. And they've got the Blink and the Lasso. I think this is the Blink debut. The question is, do they have the damage to finish him off? Magnetize is out. Moo will fight back and won't be able to survive. No grip used in that. Maybe could have made it a bit easier. Just get the Geomagnetic Grip silence and kill him off. Brax again melts SVG.
A good trade for Quincy. I mean, if something's gonna happen on the map while your Brood is dying, like if any good team is gonna make a play while that's happening. So SVG, unfortunately, is the butt of that.
Don't be mad.
Yeah, precisely. Items. 20 or 17-minute items. These are the fun ones.
Yeah, tier 2 and 3 always seem to be very, like, make or break on the game.
I love the neutral items. I love that patch. I know people hated
Here. He'll be spotted. Impetus comes in. Overgrowth used to try and TP out. And,
Oh, so
ooh,
close.
less split second less, and he's just dead.
I swear, I did not see a single crit there on those units hitting. I think if like a necro crit or if Lycan crit.
Now they find MSS.
Fear dies there.
Telekinesis, 4 heroes here. And a quick, easy pick off there for Business Associates, looking even deeper into the triangle of the Radiant End. And they'll find SVG, but they won't be able to keep him close.
And the nice thing here is this lets move into the
Top tower
enemy triangle. Oh, you are standing right on a ward, man. Oh, there's no cancel, though. Almost. I'm snaking. He had the stolen tornado.
A surprising ward. You know, just more normally a Tinker ward as we see SVG again. Not much he can do in the situation where he just gets caught out by Business Associates with numbers once more.
Kind of slowly bleeding here from Quincy. This is... It's not really resulting in any huge gold lead right now, but it's giving Business the ability to like move around the map. They get this D ward mid, so it's putting them in a position to get more farm in the future. Lelis, though, he wants Brood. He's got the blink.
Bit conservative again. Staying, far back. Good. I like that item. That tier 2 item, the Essence Ring. Who's going to hold it, though?
That might be the best tier 2 item, honestly. Like 425 HP. That's a lot at 19 minutes into the game, dude. That's a lot. Good stats on it, too. Very good stats.
And it's Moo who ends up holding it.
Yeah, carry players like to take it because of the mana regen that it gives. Feels like it makes you immortal, too.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You are?
Oh my goodness. Snaking every time. He's so close. He's so
Seconds
close
away.
with the tornado.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nice to have yourself, a bit more control, especially when you're a Rubik. But now, Cold Snap, EMP, Brax in trouble. Brax is dead. Lelis, he does have Boots of Travel, so he's able to get back into this fight. They look over at Fear. They've got the root from the Overgrowth. The chase is still on, though. Moo now on the run, but here comes Lelis as Fear drops. Rolling Boulder all the way in. Magnetize hits on a 2. Snaking getting low. He gets the Telekinesis out here onto Yawar, but finally Snaking hits the deck. They look over as they've disarmed Moo, so he has to leave this fight. Now the lasso out onto Eternal Envy. This should be a 4th and potentially a 5th. Moo is sitting low and trying to weave his way into some safety. Gets into the trees. Oh, Quinn. Very close.
Just like that, 5k gold lead. That reveal on the Radiance, as well as Brax dying at the very start of the fight. I think that's always going to be a huge problem for you. You can't have your Pango die. Like, this is your primary team fighter, really. We talked about the follow-up for the Overgrowth. Kind of feels like the only thing is the Rolling Thunder.
Cold Snap, Brax in again. Telekinesis, Fade Bolt, MSS looking dead. They get the Aegis, though, and that's picked up by Quinn. It was a little bit low. Quinn, he's going to die twice. Yeah, they got to get around to make sure that he can't get out of this one. He doesn't have Rolling Boulder, though, for 2-1. Can he get out? No, they're in front. With 5 heroes around him, Aegis already used. A little
Stolen
slow on the
cold
choice on who wanted to pick up that Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, Uar gets himself out, which is something. Brax, somehow his roll just managed to barely not clip Uar, which is very fortunate for him. Not so much for Brax. I hear Lycan
Radiant's
ulti.
top tower is under
Yeah, you
attack.
are looking over mid with the Blink Lasso out on the move. They just got stuff out of this in the fight by Roche. Now good overgrowth. Fear, with that Blink, is able to turn this fight. Leos, who blinked in going for the Lasso, he ends up dead. Tornado lands onto 3 heroes. Moose sitting low, but they've got SVG. So 2 heroes gone. Quinn's going to be back, and now Fear,
They want
who
Uar.
is getting chased. Sunstrike doesn't land again, and now they've got the telekinesis with the Rolling Thunder. Yawar, he is looking dead to rights and will finally fall.
Always so sad when you have no Lycan ulti on Lycan and no boots. Kind of feels like if you get clipped by a single slow, you're dead. Quinn's still alive. She's trying to push out these lanes. Look at this, man. This is kind of this is oh, okay.
Sunstrike?
Here.
Trying to survive, eventually will fall.
So much damage from Quinn with that Radiance. But nobody ever in this patch wants to push tier 2s. They're just too powerful. You know, you've got the multi-shot now. They do 200 damage a hit. They have 16 armor. They have 2,500 HP. 700 more than the tier 1s. Probably about twice the effective HP, considering the armor difference. It just doesn't feel possible to push those, even if you win a fight.
Does Moo, is it worth going Diffusal or anything on him? He looks like he's going to go Deso next.
I don't think people don't usually go for it like later on into the game. Like if you're gonna go some sort of damage item, you'll go, you know, Daedalus or Bloodthorn, something like that. Surprised he doesn't have a medallion. He just has the casual Blightstone. Usually Broods will always opt for that medallion.
Dire's bottom tower
Just so
is under
cheap,
attack.
you know, for what it does.
Precious bump.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Got themselves a catch on a Snake King, Flame Break. And there's the kill there for MSS. A good combo.
There's a lot of really good Cold Snap abilities in this game. Like, you have all the Lycan summons that are going to constantly proc that. You have Batrider. All of his spells are damage over time. You have Enchantress summons, and even Earth Spirit, who has a Radiance, as well as you know, a bunch of damage over time. So if somebody gets Cold Snapped, it really just feels like they're perma-stunned
Dire's
until
top
they
tower
die.
is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Now look at Leolis. They've got the disarm from the Swashbuckle and the Lucky Shot proc. Envy getting the kill, and they look towards the back to get SVG. He's pretty far behind that tier 2. Chasing would be ill-advised, that's for sure.
They do have to blink on Fear now, so even without the roll, I do think they can still fight for business.
Yeah, he's when they had that fight mid, he I think debuted it, and it was just, you could see the positioning change that fight so well.
Definitely. I mean, there's so many hard to catch heroes on Quincy. I mean, literally all of them, honestly, need to be locked down.
Boulder, Quinn out of this one. He's going into the BKB. No Chrysalis for him this time. They're setting up
I
towards
think
top.
with the Radiance build, it doesn't you know, you're not really trying to be that right-click damage dealer. I like the Radiance. I mean, if you're gonna go for like most of these non-mid laners in mid, especially these like tanky offlane ones, really Radiance is probably the play on most of them. If you're doing some Brew mid or Earth Spirit mid, you know, whatever. It's a good way to scale.
Mind Breaker picked up by Moo.
Dire's bottom tower
Is he gonna give
is
that
under
over to? Yeah, Pango's gonna pick it up. He stayed with this faded brooch for so long.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Good item. Move speed. Just any extra source of move speed is excellent. It's not really about the cost. It's about like the slots. You know, you can't just get a second windlace. Otherwise, everybody would. Raxus is full pipe now too. That's very important against
Radiant's top tower
Earth
is
Spirit and
under
Bat Rider.
attack.
They have so much magic damage.
They're smoked. They look like they want to fight. They'll send the wolves forward, but the sentries are here for the Dire side. So they see these wolves. They see that they are getting this info, and how will business associates react? It looks like they want to just stay forward. Like, come get us.
Yeah, Quincy was kind of baiting Quinn there, but business are smart. They see that he has the BKB, and there isn't really any hard lockdown through BKB for associates. Like, you can just BKB off the Treant route between the Pango bounces. It's really just Rubik that has the lockdown. So with Quinn having this BKB, it's become really difficult for associates to fight. If they want to fight, they have to kill everybody else first. Like Batrider and Invoker first. These have got to be the priority heroes.
Ridding the map of some vision here for the Dire. Radiant is just cleaning it up as they can.
Who is a gem? Somebody's a gem? Batrider? Nope.
Just
Not gem
sentries.
pickup.
They're just throwing down sentries, getting rid of some
Dire's
vision
bottom
here.
tower is under
Am I
attack.
crazy? I swear to God I saw a gem. Oh yeah, there. Fear's got a gem now, so dewarding's gonna happen on the other side. Fear feels like he hasn't died in quite a few fights, so
Yeah, he's been very tanky, sustaining, getting that positioning, throwing that overgrowth. It's
Dire's bottom
been
tower has fallen.
a real good time for him as the 5 Treant.
he's living the best life, isn't he? He's one with the trees.
Yeah, no Timbersaw in the game.
Yeah, that's not as hard of a counter as you would think,
Radiant's
honestly.
top tower is under attack.
Like, really,
Dire's
it's not.
bottom tower is under
It's
attack.
just the mental aspect of it. Is the lasso onto the Rubik. Grab this kill and take out Snake King. That's a decent pickoff. He does have buyback. Roche is up in 36 seconds, so I think it'll be
Radiant's
not,
top
you know,
tower is under
a
attack.
buyback
Radiant's
that'll
top
get
tower has
expended
fallen.
unless they do look to skirmish here near the tier 1
Dire's middle
tower,
tower is under attack.
because then you can just buy back and TP into
Yep.
tier 1.
Oh,
Viper
big-
Strike. BKB, Papa Yawar still holding the buyback on the Rubik. Now they look over at Brax. Overgrowth comes in. Quinn moving forward still. They'll get the kill onto the Pangolier. They look over at Moo. Impetus shots flying forward onto Eternal Envy with Laylas now being broken under the Nether Toxin, but it won't be enough. They finally buy back on the Rubik. It seems a little bit late, but the BKB's been popped by Moo. They've got the Telekinesis. They'll grab Quinn. They'll take him out. And it ends up being a 2-for-1 with Snake King, who is dead to start that fight. But MSS, Chaos Meteor right on top of Snake King with the Cold Snap, and SVG continuing the onslaught. They get themselves another kill on the Rubik. So he bought back. He's gone for a while. And this fight's starting to spiral out of control here for business associates to the point where Quinn buys back and they want to keep the pressure on. They'll glyph up. This seems like an early glyph, especially with a fight that's finishing over the river.
Oh, there's a gem there. They see it.
Oy.
Somebody, they've got to see it, right?
Radiant's top tower.
Courier
Really?
comes in and swoops it up. They go back
Oh,
towards
wow.
Roche.
I mean, that could have been disastrous for business if they lost that gem. It's not so much about the gold, it's the cooldown. Especially when you have the tree on your team. Like, you do not want somebody having that perma invis review.
Radiant's top
War does
tower
have his
is
ulti
under
in
attack.
11 seconds if they do want to go fight again.
They've got the lasso. They're going to go for it. And this time they're not going to lose the Aegis immediately. And they'll grab themselves you know, the kill on a Brax. They don't lose the Aegis because they didn't kill Roche yet. They actually evacuated the pit to look to fight some more, leaving Roche at about 60% health.
Without Brax, I'm honestly not sure how you fight this for business. He's the guy that's going to be bouncing around the Roche pit. He's the guy that really makes it a threat to take this thing.
Your shots have challenged the Radiant. Radiant's middle tower.
In
is
retrospect, in
under
a lot of these team fights, it looks like Brax just needs to press his role. Like, he needs to be really... He's trying to go in and use his swashbuckle and shield crash and some other things first, but it really looks like Quincy's punishing him. Like, really, it's this invoker. Just the fact that he's getting constantly lassoed, he's getting cold snapped after the last. Like, he cannot get the roll off unless he starts the fight by rolling in, which is not always optimal on Pango, but in this game it looks like it's necessary. Dude, Moo is taking the mid tower as this is all happening.
Jesus.
He's got the spider talent, so they do a lot of damage right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Top. Quinn continuing to push. He's sitting level 22. He's got the extra spell amp, the rolling boulder damage.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Alacrity on the Necronomicon warrior.
Dire's middle tower
Powerful.
has fallen.
So powerful.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
If they can find Moo, he's trying to get out of here with as many webs as he can, just to TP out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Go towards top, look for Pango, MSS, he's invis, misses the tornado.
Radiant's courier has been
I'll
killed.
kill Yawar's courier
Radiant's
with
bottom
shreds
tower
and a
has fallen.
TP on it.
Imagine getting a 34-minute 6th item treads. Like, well, I mean, he's got cheese, but still, like, what a hero. He goes treads as like a last item. Come on, Gaben. Give me a break.
Oy. Never feels the need to go for it.
Leslow.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, he's
Coming
listening
over.
today.
Got the telekinesis. They're going to TP in the Bat Rider on this. BKB's been popped by Yawar. Goes after Brax. The chase is on.
What am I watching? That's a dog chasing a ball.
Yeah.
That's real life. That's what they do.
I'll get a tennis ball right now. Cooper will do it on camera for you guys. He'll run right after a tennis ball.
I can't believe he was cosplaying. He's getting too into it. This is not a role-playing game, it's a MOBA. Go get the ball. Go get the ball. Go. Who's a good boy? Go get
It would be very realistic if he gets it and doesn't bring it back.
Yeah,
So if you-
that's what my dog does. My dog's a real asshole, honestly. She's not a good boy.
Okay. Got this tier 3 sitting very low.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Moves just
Radiant's
cutting waves
bottom
with the
tower
spiders,
is
just
under
doing what he
attack.
can. Very nice, but also, you know, it's looking rough, so he's got to do what he's got to do.
Get these outposts back. 36 minutes into the game. Things have really slowed down. It felt like Quincy crew were playing pretty aggressively, and then pulled on the reins a little hard.
Pretty typical for this patch, I would say. Like, you see people, you know, they're very afraid of the tier 2s, and then all of a sudden they're very afraid of taking high ground. It's really all about getting kills and using those to choke the enemy team out. Oh, Quinn tried. And there goes the Aegis, just like that. Who's got that Vanguard? Oh, it's Moo. Okay,
Yeah,
he's got
Moo
the
picked it
Abyssal.
up for the Abyssal. Oh,
I like the ulti from Snaking.
Yeah, from Snaking. He's got it. Tornado, though. That'll slow down that little wolf.
Who's a good boy? Go get the center.
There is a ball to go after when Quinn goes into the rolling boulder.
That's true.
We can
We got
keep up the
balls on both of these teams.
LARPing here.
Yeah.
Lasso
Ooh, nice
out.
Lotus.
But now that they've got the Lotus, they'll have problems getting Laylis out of this one. Overgrowth comes in, they'll get the kill onto the Bat Rider, they'll look for more. The magnetizes out, the damage onto Eternal Envy is felt, and he might even drop with Queen and Yawar chasing him. He's sitting low, but not dead just yet. Lotus Orb comes in, Tornado's out, they'll get the kill onto Eternal Envy, but things are getting really bad for Yawar. He sits low, he ends up dead, he's gone for 90. Brack's taking some damage from SVG, but they're really just ignoring him up to this point. Quinn continues to move forward, trying to at least finish off Brax, but there's the Swashbuckle with the lucky shot proccing. They've disarmed Quinn. He'll eat the cheese, try and stay alive. Shivas comes out again, misses Brax. Force Staff away, Force Staff now on the move. They've got the Cold Snap from MSS, Swashbuckle in once again, and I believe that got a bash out on the Quinn, and Quinn will use that Lotus Orb to try to get the kick out, and now moving back in for more because Moo is sitting low, Brax is sitting low, as is Snaking. Can Snaking get out? Rolling Boulder should be the finishing touch with one more right click. And they do end up coming ahead with that fight. I'm surprised. Things got really bad there for Quinn, but had the help from the Force Staff of MSS, had the Lotus Orb.
Yeah, that Lotus really... That really set up that fight for business. I don't know who pressed that. It looks like it was Snaking. Just
and it looked like
timing.
Yeah, it got Moo out, right? But still, I think the pressure that came in from Quincy crew was more than they could handle. Quinn's outputting a lot of damage. You're fighting under Shivas, you're fighting under Radiance, and now, though, Quinn stays too long, gets hit by the Abyssal, and just dies. Trying to take that tier 3 through a repair kit. And MSS, he looks like he's going to be next. As long as they could get another bash, they keep the vision on him because they have the gem on Fear. Not really much of a spot he can run on, but the disarm is on the move, so that makes this last a little bit longer. But they get 2 kills on the exit, and Quincy crew kind of overstaying their welcome.
So I was going to say that I think one of the issues with what Moo is doing is he's using the ultimate, Insatiable Hunger, and then he's using the BKB after Insatiable Hunger because Insatiable Hunger, because it gives you the lifesteal, like often it keeps you alive, right? But with the items that he has right now, if he doesn't have his ultimate, he doesn't do damage. So in that fight, it was going so poorly because Moo was hitting them, but he does basically the damage of like a Crystal Maiden at this point if he doesn't have his ultimate, because all of his items are not damage items. His biggest damage item is an AC, right? Like that's an aura item. That's like a tanky offlaner item. So it's good that he got the leveler. Like he really needs damage. He's going for Rapier next. I think that's a really good idea. I think this will help his fighting a lot because he's really relying on the Insatiable Hunger, but he seems to be opting to use it as a more defense mechanism.
And then he's picked up the Tome of Knowledge because he really wants to push forward into that level 25, where I would presume he goes for Insatiable Hunger, right?
Hard to say. I mean, I think at this point, Insatiable Hunger is good because like he needs to be the right-click carry, but also he went all Spider talents, so I'm kind of 50-50. If he goes to Spider's HP, they're not going to die to all the AoE. You can maybe use them to do more damage. It really depends on what he wants to do, like what his opinion on Broodmother is. Because I think they're both good. Honestly, I would say, well, Yeah, insatiable hunger, because he's gonna get a rapier, so it'll give him more lifesteal. Like the damage doesn't even matter; it's about the lifesteal.
Smoke. Or actually ninja gear, eh? No, full smoke.
Winning
Tornado
boy.
in. Coming through, Laylas. He looks for a spot, but the Viper Strike as well as the Abyssal Blade is used onto the Bat Rider. They'll take him out so quickly. They look over at Snaking. The Force Staff keeps him with a little bit of distance away from Quinn. They've got the damage coming out onto Fear. They'll get the kill on the Snaking as well as this Treant of Fear, but Yawar, he ends up dead. He doesn't have buyback. Lasso's out. They bought back on Laylas, so he gets into the fight trying to control Moo, but there's the Swashbuckle with the Lucky Shot proccing. It disarms Quinn. They're chasing over. Moo trying to survive as his Eternal Envy keeping these other heroes away from the fight. Finally, the Overgrowth comes in. Quinn ends up dead, as does Eternal Envy. They've got the root on MSS as well as SVG. And the gem is picked up, but now MSS, he needs to run with it. They're actually outputting a bit of damage here onto Fear. They've got him surrounded with Laylas nearby as Brax is trying to help him out, but Laylas puts his focus onto the Pangolier while the supports take out this Treant. And he'll continue to chase. He's got the help of a Necro Creep. Sunstrike! Ooh, I think a little far, but the Flame Break, he does proc out, and they will get the kill.
Man, Moo is trying his darndest, and I kind of feel like he's playing this Brood hero, and he's got to the late game, and he's realizing like why this isn't really a true carry. You know, like he is doing everything he can to juke and jive and kite in these fights like you would on another carry, and you would completely destroy usually. But with the Broodmother, he can only do this in like 14-second intervals. Like he doesn't do any damage without Insatiable Hunger. So I really feel like this game is going to go the complete other direction once we see Moo finally get damage. Once we see him get this this rapier, I legitimately think that Business has a strong chance of winning this game. He has desperately needed this in every single fight. He has played the fight so well. It's just that he's Broodmother. He's not Terrorblade. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Where at this point in the game, you'll see Terrorblade go into the Metamorphosis, and it's not restricted to that 14-second hold.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, if he plays Terrorblade in the exact same way that he is playing Broodmother in these fights, in and out, you know, hitting these heroes he needs to hit, target priority, he wins the game. Because he hasn't died. Like, he just hasn't died in any of these fights. He keeps surviving.
Illusion.
Okay, here goes. Rapier.
That's
Courier
Blessing
going out.
with the Aegis and Cheese.
Roshan has fallen to raid.
There it is. Wait, who got the eggs? Leslau.
Double
got it.
lasso.
Yeah. 2 heroes for the price of 1. Actually, it's for the price of an Aghanim's Blessing, which is quite expensive.
At least, you know, this time it wasn't like they took Roche and all of a sudden it was a 30,000 net worth lead.
Radiant's middle barracks
It's always,
are under attack.
That's always unfortunate. Late game Roches are honestly nuts, man.
I think they're too good.
I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. I think.
Would you be okay with Refresher always being the 3rd item, and then instead of Ag's Blessing, something like a BKB Rejuvenation item?
That would be cool. I like that idea.
Viper Strike, you are in trouble, bashed up, and he does not have the Aegis.
100
Quinn
seconds.
does.
He has no buyback.
And he's
Okay.
short a couple hundred gold.
Lilith, I mean, Lilith can get a bounty rune. There's 2 bounty runes stopped, so. Will have buyback. He needs to call right now. Like, he needs to tell Lilith, go pick up a bounty
Radiant's
right
middle
now.
barracks are under attack.
Okay, he's going to do it. Nice. Just kidding. Lilith, get the bounty.
Still keeps him short.
Oh, just off. Fear
And he
picked up
needed
the
that other one.
Yeah, rough. Looks like Business, though, they're respecting the potential buyback from UR. They don't know whether or not he has it, because it's not like it's not available. It's just a gold thing.
14,000 net worth lead. And ooh, here they come. Blink Lasso. Not an Ags Lasso, but enough to get control over Eternal Envy. The Rolling Thunder comes in, though. There's the Shivas. They'll use the Guardian Greaves from Eternal Envy. The damage coming in into Fear forces out the Overgrowth. That locks up Loyalist as well as SVG. Quinn going in further. Viper Strike off the Lotus Orb, and now Envy, he's been hit with the Viper Strike, but continues to throw the damage in onto Quinn. Bash from Brax, they'll kill off Fear. They've gotten themselves just one. Ooh, back over. Abyssal Blade is used, and they've got Moo control. They'll get the kill with the Havoc Hammer and look for Eternal Envy. Whoa!
Rapier.
God, the bash. Yeah, Rapier into the hands of Yawar, and that seems to be the dagger, or the rapier, perhaps.
Straight through the heart, man. That's. I don't think you can just ditch your Broodmother with a rapier. There's. I mean, to be fair, he can almost afford another one.
As long as he doesn't have to buy back, yeah.
So, it's not over quite yet. Not just yet. But that is definitely a monumental setback, especially because now Yawar is sitting on 600 damage.
This is the game of Abyssal Blades.
Yeah, it really is.
4.
No Satanics, though, surprisingly.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
4 in this game. Repair Kit almost seems like it's going to be enough to keep Moose safe. I don't think Quincy Crew can risk going for the tier 4, so you'll lose a set of racks that you've already taken, but I say that,
nope,
and now they're going to go for it. I feel like this is a risky move, and one that may not turn out to be exactly what they wanted, but it's getting what they wanted. They've gotten themselves the buyback. They look over, Overgrowth from Fear, well done. Abyssal Blade now on Alelis. They've got the Tornado as well as the Deafening Blast as Moo tries to come in with the BKB, but he gets bashed up by Quinn. Quinn now Rolling Boulder out. They force the buyback to get what they want, but now can they re-engage? Because if they get the life of Moo, this game is pretty much over. The Lotus Orb as well as the Telekinesis comes in, so that'll lift up both the Rubik as well as this Lycan. They'll continue to give chase. Eternal Envy trying to do what he can as they've got control onto Quinn. They've broken him up, and now they have the damage to take away the Aegis. But Brax from the Impetus shot. Swashbuckle coming in. They'll get the disarm out on an SVG with the Lotus Orb in, but they'll finish off SVG. He does have buyback the Rolling Boulder away from Quinn, and that ends up being enough to escape. So they got what they wanted. They back off. They lose the Aegis in doing so, but getting that buyback out of the hands of the Broodmother and just losing an Enchantress and an Aegis is well worth it.
Right, probably the most important thing is that now Moo is about halfway to another Rapier, so it's not like he can just respawn by it and all of a sudden you're on even ground again. You know, he's got to farm for about 5 minutes to make this happen, and it's that's a lot of time at this point in Dota. Riedel would like item recommendations?
Yeah.
Why can you do that as a caster? What? What?
She must have pressed that by accident. Got themselves the lasso, Rolling Boulder in, and Snaking taking a lot of damage. That forces the Overgrowth out of Fear. That'll hold the Lycan in one spot, but they've got the control on the Brax, and they'll get the kill on the Pangolier, so... aggression still coming in from the side of Quincy Crew. Viper Strike, Telekinesis, they've got the break, they have the damage, they'll take out SVG. They've come in a bit too far. The Nature's Grasp in a great spot. Abyssal Blade on Yawar. They have the damage. The bashes from Quinn are keeping Yawar alive for now, but with the Viper Strike and the damage from Eternal Envy, they've got the Rapier on the deck. It's picked up by Laylis.
Moo is raxing mid while this is happening. They just got a rax. Dude, business is actually up a Rax in this game. I can't believe it. It's a 32k gold deficit, and they have a Rax advantage. And now Batrider has the Rapier, which is honestly useless. Like, this is equivalent to nobody having a Rapier. I don't think you can drop it. I think that would only be if if it hadn't gone to the enemy team first. I believe. And this is the sort of thing that I would have to go into a practice lobby and see. I feel like Lelis would have put it in the fountain if he could drop it.
There's the Divine Rapier from Moo.
He definitely can't drop it because he's got the plus damage. No way. Yeah, Moo's got another Rapier.
Radiant are scanning.
Dude, with a leveler, you have to be so careful with this hero. He can just take your base if you're not careful.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Spiders be creeping.
Look at the damage. Disgusting. Man, you actually have to be so afraid right now if you're Quincy. If Associates can get this Roche, that's honestly like the entire net worth lead gone. Especially when you consider that, like, what, 12k of that difference is the fact that Moo bought a Rapier and then lost it, and now Lelis has it. But Batrider doesn't even right click, you know? Like, this is such a non-factor item on Batrider.
Usually we'll see games where it's like you pick up the Divine Rapier and I am the carry now, but it certainly feels like a situation. He's getting attack off a second. His attack speed is only 186. I mean, compare that to Moo, who's at an attack every half second.
Yeah, I mean, Fleming Lasso literally locks your auto attack so you can't hit people, so... It's 4 seconds of not hitting when he's doing his, like, most important ability at this point. Going for the wraparound on Quincy.
Blink forward, there's the lasso, and it's on a 2. So this is troublesome for them. Snake King, he gets pretty low, but he's able to back off. The Abyss Blade comes in with a Lotus Orb, so Snake King, he bounces back into the fight as Moo continues to go and chase for the Lycan, but they'll look over at the other heroes here on the side of Quincy Crew. Snake King ends up dead, he'll buy back immediately, they'll go after Quinn, they'll get the kill into the Earth Spirit. Now they look as Yawar trying to man fight this. I don't think this is the spot he wants to be in, though. As he dies, he's gone for 100 MSS into the Ghost Walk. He's escaping, but here's the rest of the team. Fear, he ends up dead. Down goes SVG. He doesn't have buyback, and Fear will use his immediately.
So are we close to having buyback? No. He literally doesn't have one. Like, the cooldown is taken away, so this should be a relatively free Roche for business once they have the resources. And that double lasso, I was expecting that to be a complete disaster for business, but Snake King was able to get his Lotus off and defend from a lot of that damage that was on him. Man, giving that refresher shard to Moo would be amazing, because he can get all the web stacks back, he can get his second ulti, which he so desperately needs right now.
A lot of Ageless Viper Strike. Out onto Yawar. There's the Abyssal Blade coming in from a rolling Brax. Another Abyssal Blade. And now the Abyssal Blade from Yawar, but it goes over to Eternal Envy. He's just dead for 2 minutes. He is dead and gone. Snake King getting low. Telekinesis before he dies on a Quinn. And that might just allow them to get the kill here onto the Earth Spirit. The chase, the swashbuckle from Brax. Oh, 2 minutes. From both of them. Gone.
And the problem is Lelis has to play so careful because he doesn't want to lose the Rapier. If he dies, it's probably GG. And he has buyback available, but, like, he basically doesn't because he has the Rapier. So it's putting him in this really awkward position where he can't go in and just tank for his team. He can't go, like, he's got this Lincoln Sphere, so he wants to die. Like, at this point, you have to choose somebody to sacrifice so they can buy back. That is how Dota works in the late game. It is all about buybacks. But Lelis can't be that guy because he has this Rapier. It is such a blessing and a curse. But he is cutting the wave. So can't get anything for business just yet because Lelis is in a really nice position.
These 25s are really hard to deal with. They're still over a minute without their Earth Spirit and just a minute to get their Lycan back. Lasso comes in on a 2. And they've got the refresher, pulls him again into the fountain. Now they've got Brax. No, they don't. Swashbuckle away, survives a little bit longer. The Aegis is gone. The Viper Strike is down on Aleos, but he's got himself the Lincoln Sphere. He would have loved to have another attempt at getting himself that lasso in the pullback, but won't have it anymore. So despite the fact that he was able to drag them into the well, he doesn't kill either after the Aegis. And the tier 4 still stand.
Man, Lelis. He is absolutely keeping his team in this game. First, he pushes all the waves out, including the bot and mid wave. So business can't do anything. And then with the lasso, it forces the Aegis. It forces this defensive posturing from business. And it just wastes time for Yawar and CC&C to respawn. Like, man, what an impact. Just in such a short period of time. From like a couple of decisions. It's so cool to see this. And this guy's playing at like 150 ping too. What an impressive player.
Keeps the game alive, keeps the Divine Rapier, never ends up going down himself. And like you said, it is a bit of a blessing and a curse, but he was able to accomplish that and almost pull these heroes into the well and maybe change the outlook of this game. They're still up net worth. That's the crazy thing about this, is they're the ones who've been playing on their heels. They're the ones who've been playing defensively, and they've been up quite a bit. Telekinesis now in SVG. The BKB's been popped by Moo, but he cannot go into this one. As Viper Strike thrown all the way out onto Yawar, and that'll force him back. But they've stolen the shapeshift, so maybe they think about re-engaging on this as Telekinesis is back up. But the Tornado lands on the 3 heroes. They'll Ghost Walk and run out. Continue to have their safety.
Oh,
Telekinesis keeps up with him. Rod of Atos. Hard to chase uphill like that.
Yeah, they don't have any good reason to. Oh man, if Yawar didn't TP out immediately. Look at the rainbow TPs. They're looking for him. He's not there though. He was immediately out. At this point in the game, you can't just, willy-nilly split push. You have to be really smart about it. You can't even just casually jungle here or there, Oh, Broodmother Moo gets caught.
Oh boy. He's not used his Abyssal Blade just yet, and he needs to get up the hill, but I don't know if he can. He'll use the Insatiable Hunger, but can he get the kill with the Cold Snap going? Oh. Oh dear.
Man.
Oh dear.
He was so close to getting his refresher, and then he refreshes, he BKBs, and just turns around with Insatiable and Satanic. And then Quincy don't get anything there. The refresher was in his backpack, and it was just about to cool down. That is unfortunate timing. If I were to guess, what he said after that is, I should have had my refresher in my inventory instead of treads. Something like that. But when you get to late game, it's all about this inventory management, and it's something that not a lot of us have a ton of experience with, because games don't really go this late usually. And we have the 60-minute items coming out now. We have a Trident for Quincy.
If they can even get out and out of their base and get them for the side of Business Associates, I don't even know if they'll have that chance.
Woodland Striders. Not bad. Somebody doesn't need boots anymore. Oh, those Striders got to be pretty nice for MSS. He's got the move speed from Wex.
Strike again, blink forward with the lasso, but he's been bashed up with the Swashbuckle from Brax, the 4-staff out. Can they get the kill here on a Snake King? He'll survive for now, but the Abyssal Blade comes up with the Overgrowth being used by Fear. Kicked down to the low ground, the Abyssal Blade with the Lotus Orb, so now the Abyssal Blade comes out onto Yawar, keeps Snake King alive a little bit longer. He also has himself up in the air, but finally dead. 99 seconds until he's able to do anything, as they've got the cheese eaten by Eternal Envy. The damage isn't really coming out from the side of Business Associates just yet, but they've got the Viper Strike continually flying through from Eternal Envy as he's got this Axe. They look over at Brax. The Wolves get pushed away. SVG now trying to run, and 4-staff down to the low ground with the Rod of Atos and the Viper Strike that I believe got avoided there by Yawar. They look over at Brax, Rolling Boulder in, Lotus Orb on him, Abyssal Blade used again. They'll get the kill on Brax. He does have buyback there, and now Eternal Envy. He's been tornadoed up into the air, taking some damage, trying to back off. He doesn't have a cheese to fall back on this time, but the damage coming out onto Yawar is troublesome. He doesn't have an Aegis. He'll drop the Divine Rapier onto the ground, but I believe Quinn might have picked it up.
Yeah, he has it.
Oh gosh,
He's
Queen
dead
picks it
too,
up.
though.
Abyssal Blade Moo again!
Neither of them have buyback.
Oh, wow.
They literally, it's not a gold thing. They literally do not have buyback. They do not have gold. And that's the rapier.
Dire's structures are
It's
fortified.
back in the hands of Moo. And he has that refresher. He still has refresher. He still has double satanic, double abyssal, double BKB, double insatiable hunger. Man, I think this is over. There needs to be some crazy defense from Quincy right now. Like, they need to... Lelis needs to fountain lasso somebody again. They need to get Moo. I see the pings. They're trying to go for them before they enter the base. They're trying something, man.
Abyssal Blade.
He's just suiciding because he has buyback.
Can they hold this together? Can they get what they want? They need Oilers to come in with a double lasso. He only gets one, but he's hit with a stun. And now
man.
he is in trouble. He's hit with the stun because the Lotus Orb was out and the lasso came through. He does not have Refresher to go again with this, so they lose the tier 4s, and now the Ancient's exposed. Looks like it's going to fall. They've got Glyph, though. Can they keep it going? Moo moving forward. Layla's trying to act, but he doesn't have anything to really act with. And there goes the Ancient, and there goes the game to Business Associates, and of course, my game crashes again. Every single time. But they bring that back, and the only time they had a net worth lead was as that game ended.
Man, I actually need a monster. I actually need to go to the store and get a monster between games. That's the first game of the day.
Jesus.
What the hell?
Yeah, wow.
What
I didn't
are
even
we
think
in
about
for?
that.
What are we in for today? Man, the rapier hot potato. That was nuts. So many times with these pickoffs and abyssal blades. I gotta say, the target priority in synergy between both of these teams in the fights, I would love to hear their voice right now, like their VoIP, to see like how intensely they're communicating this stuff. Like, go on this guy, like we, like how do you communicate these things? Every single time they would go on a different target, and it might be a tanky frontliner, it might be a backliner, and they would always get the kill. They'd always focus the dude with the rapier. They were hitting these like 3-man tornadoes, these 5-man Trian ultis. Like, god damn, that was nice, Dota. That was so nice. And this is the first game.
Yeah. 30,000 net worth down? Never in doubt. Basically.
Gabe
Jesus.
Newell, Dota.
Man, Business Associates take game 1 over Quincy Crew. We'll be back with game 2 in just a moment. We're caster Bkop, joined here by Jenkins at Bkop92 on Twitter, at JenkinsDota on Twitter. Follow us to know when we're casting next. We'll be back in a second with game 2. Stay right there. Get hyped. I would get hyped. I almost choked up on the words. I'm so hyped.